About 7 years ago, we started adding some things outside, and it was, it's small, and then it continually grew. Now, right in the area of about 135,000 LEDs, probably in 6,000 watts. We start in August, and basically it's 320 hours to set up outside. Nothing too crazy anyway. My brother-in-law Larry, last year in April, he passed, so we had dedicated the light display to him. Oh, I stand out there every night for the whole duration of the event, and I talk to as many people as I can. I'm more of an extrovert than an introvert, and the stories and the feedback I get are just priceless. There's a lady came through 2 years ago now, and she told me her mom had stage 4 cancer, who's in Kelowna, and it's the first time she's seen her smile in 4 months. And if that doesn't get you, then I don't know what does. And we all do it for our community first, right? So that's the good thing about it anyway.
Hey, Don, you're a very talented guy. Believe it or not, our producer Andrew was just sending me some pictures. The inside of the house is just as spectacular. Apparently, the whole family spent about 7 months getting ready for this, and Don says he wants more lights.
That's here in Edmonton. Have you watched that in the news? So that was just 2 years ago. Can you imagine 135,000 LED lights? 135,000. That's a lot. Can you imagine your friends are getting ready for their summer trip, and here you are, during summer, starting to prepare for your LED lights. The guy was preparing 7 months before Christmas. Can you imagine? What do you call that? That's called commitment and dedication. Today we are on our new series called Understanding Christmas. So our first message should be entitled, How do we celebrate Christmas? How do we celebrate Christmas? When you hear the word Christmas, what is the first thing that comes in your mind? When you hear the word Christmas, what is the first thing that comes in your mind? Is it the LED lights? Are you the person who's preparing a lot of LED lights in your home? Is it, what do you call this? Parol. It's very famous in the Philippines. I know some of my friends here, they're actually ordering in the Philippines whenever they have a friend coming home in the Philippines. They would ask their friends, oh friend, can you buy me a parol so I could decorate it here, right? Because it's kind of difficult to find a parol here, right? What other things that comes in your mind when you hear the word Christmas? Is it the Christmas trees? Has everybody have their Christmas tree set up in their home yet? Are you looking for a Christmas tree? Are you looking for a big Christmas tree, maybe a 12 feet or 9 feet Christmas tree, right? What else are you looking for? What else are you thinking when you hear the word Christmas? Is it the gifts? Have you started buying your gifts for your family members, for your loved ones, and for your inaanaks, godchildren? Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're a ninong or ninang, and maybe here you are hiding because you have a lot of inaanak. Is that you today? That the only time we can see you is Sunday, and Christmas you're going to be gone because you're hiding from your godchildren. Is that you today? What else do you think about when you hear the word Christmas? Is it the food? Have you thought what you would cook, what you would prepare on Christmas? Maybe you're already discussing with your wife or with your husband what to prepare, who to invite, right, on Christmas dinner. What else do you think about? Is it Santa Claus? When your small children hear about Christmas, who do they remember? Who do they remember? Did you teach them about Santa Claus, who is not real? Or did you teach them about Jesus? If you talk to a lot of children today, you ask them, many children, when you ask them what is the first thing they think about during Christmas, a lot of children today would tell you Santa Claus. You know, I'm hanging my socks. I'm ready for Santa Claus gifts. A lot of children today, in fact, even Christian children from Christian families, many Christian families today, they teach their children about Santa Claus instead of Jesus Christ. Is that your family today? What else do you think about when you hear the word Christmas? 15 years ago to 20 years ago, when I hear the word Christmas, for me it meant food, it meant games, it meant fun. I knew Jesus was born, but I didn't really get the message back then. When I hear about Christmas back then, 15 to 20 years ago, all I think about was the games, the fun, the food, the parties, the gatherings, everything except Jesus. And that was me before. Back in 2010, this was me. We have all our families across Philippines visiting us every Christmas. Every year on Christmas Day, my auntie would host a game. In Tagalog, it's called Paagaw or Sabog Barya. Have you heard about that game? As you can see, I have some coins here. I'm counting the coins in this picture. This is 2010. That was me. So every Christmas, I'm excited because of the games, the fun, the gatherings, the party. I get to see all my relatives all across Philippines during Christmas Day. Can you imagine? This is a game where a person would throw coins on the air in few batches. And once you grab the coins, once you secure the coins are all yours. Right? So I was so busy counting my coins in this picture. So every year, all our relatives, 50 years old, 40 years old, 20 years old, they all visit. Even though they're already having a hard time to walk, they would visit and they would grab the coins. During the game, they'd be able to move quickly, right? But on a regular day, right, they all have their back pain, right, their arthritis. But during the game, all the arthritis, they're gone, right? When you play this game, when you secure all the coins here, and you go to that corner to secure the other coins, sometimes when you go back, what happens? The coins are gone, right? So you have to be strategic in playing this game, right? When you secure the coin and you go there, you make sure your coins are still here, right? So I was very strategic, right, 15 years ago in playing this game. Anyone else who wants to be part of this game on our Christmas Day here? We're going to ask Pastor Jeff, right, to throw coins on us. Just kidding. So, again, on our Christmas party, right, make sure you come and invite your friends, right? You pay $25, you secure your coins to get $100 back. Is that okay? Just kidding. So, no coins game, okay? Don't come here asking us, Pastor Jeff, I'm here. Right? 1 p.m., I'm ready, right? There's no game, right? If you want the game, you look for my auntie, okay? She's in the Philippines, okay? So today we're going to celebrate Jesus. On Christmas Day, we're going to celebrate Jesus alone, okay? So you come invite your friends and your family members, okay? So again, back in 2010, this was me, right? This was me without my beard back then. So as you can see, I was one of the top family members who could secure the coins, right? So my goal was to secure minimum 200 pesos, right? Every Christmas, that was my goal, right? So every game, during the game, I was so good in box out. You know box out in basketball? I would box out my cousins, my lola, my grandma, I would box her out. Grandma, you stay there, right? Just to secure the coins. So when I think about Christmas back then, I think about the games, the fun, the food, the activities, the parties, the gatherings. But never Jesus. It was never instilled in my mind, in my heart, what it really meant to celebrate Christmas. I didn't truly get the message back then. So how about you today? When you hear about the word Christmas, what do you think about? If you are here today, why do you celebrate Christmas? When you hear the word Christmas, what is the first thing that comes in your mind when you hear the word Christmas? Now, in order to understand this, we should go back in John 1 and study the word. All right? Now, it says in John 1, verse 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through Him, and apart from Him, nothing came into being that has come into being. In Him was life, and the life was the light of man. Now, who is the Word being referred here? It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Who is the Word? Now, if you jump in verse 14, you'd actually understand that in the Word, and the Word became flesh, and dwelt among us, and we saw His glory, glory as of the only begotten from the Father, full of grace and truth. The Word was in the beginning, and the Word became flesh. Who is the Bible referring to? If we go further, it says here, John testified about Him and cried out, saying, this was He of whom I said, he who comes after me has a higher rank than I. For He existed before me. For in His fullness we have all received grace upon grace. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God but the one and only Son who is Himself what? Who is Himself God. And is in the closest relationship with the Father, has made Him known. Now if we go back, who is the Word being referred here? It's no other than Jesus Christ, right? Some people were not sure. Jesus? I saw people whispering, right? You're not sure. So the Word in the beginning is referring to Jesus Christ. I want us all to remember that. You see, many people, when they think about Jesus Christ, they think that Jesus started 2,000 years ago. Many people think today that Jesus began 2,000 years ago. Many people today would think that Jesus was created or born 2,000 years ago, right? But the Bible is clear. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, right? Jesus is not a man. He is not created or born. He is, in fact, God. And He was in the beginning. Right? Now, why was He called the Word? Why was Jesus Christ called the Word? I mean, in the beginning, you could have said something nicer, something bolder, like, in the beginning was the rock, right? The rock. Or in the beginning, you could call it, in the beginning was with Superman, right? There are so many words that we could think about. Why was He called the Word, right? Instead of other fancy words, right? The term word comes from the Greek word logos. A word is how you express your thoughts, isn't it? And without words, nobody would know what's in your mind, right? A word is how we express our thoughts. And without words, nobody would know what's in your mind. And that's why it's very powerful to call him the Word. In the same way, Jesus is the visible, clear message of who God is. That's why he was called Word, because he is the message. Right? He is the message. He is the Word. Now in verse 4, it says here, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. When I was a new member of the church, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I find it very boring to read the Bible. I like going to the church. I like the music. I like the preaching. But I find it very boring to read the Word of God. I find it very, very boring to read the Bible. But when I received Jesus Christ in my heart, when I surrendered my life to him, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. So the light came into my heart, and amazingly, I enjoy reading the Bible. When I fully surrendered and when I fully understood what the Word is, I started enjoying reading the Bible. Many of us here, perhaps, if you don't have any interest in Bible study, you need to ask yourself. So don't be angry with people who don't study the Bible, who don't like memorizing the Bible verses, who don't like going to Bible studies, who don't like discipleships. Do not force them. You know why? Until their eyes are open of who God is, the light will not come into them. Now, if you're here, you like to go to church, but you don't enjoy reading the Bible, I guess we have to ask ourselves, have we truly received the message of what we're going to celebrate on Christmas Day? You see, if you are not excited in serving God, if you are not excited in Bible studies, in discipleship, if you're not excited attending the church every Sunday, is it possible that maybe, is it possible that maybe you don't truly know Jesus yet? And that's why it's very important to understand the message today. Why do we celebrate Christmas? Why do we celebrate Christmas? Today, Christmas is filled with lights, with gifts, with food, with parties, with gatherings, but with all the noise of these Christmas parties, many people forget why we actually celebrate Christmas. Right? We're so excited with the fun, with the games, right? With the sabog barya, you know? The noise is so huge, the noise is so loud that we forget what is the true message of Christmas. What is the true message of Christmas? Earlier in John 1, it explains very well why we should celebrate Christmas. So why do we celebrate Christmas? I have a few suggestions here. Excuse me. Number one, because God came down to us. God came down to us. What does it say in the Bible? In John 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He is in the beginning with God. The Word, Jesus, the eternal God, Creator, and the one who was with God, was from the beginning. Right? He didn't stay distant. Right? The Word, in verse 14, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. He didn't stay distant. He didn't shout from heaven, towards us. Instead, he became what? He became flesh. He stepped into human weakness, experienced hunger, tears, pain, temptation, just like you and me. Or in fact, he could have just stayed in heaven, right? He didn't have to go down to reach us. He's God. He doesn't need us, right? He was already enjoying his life as a God, but why would he need to come down to reach us? When you watch movies, when you watch movies about kings, you'd see that it's so very difficult to reach the kings, right? You would go with the secretaries, with the assistants. You have to work your way, climbing up to reach the kings. Do you see that in movies? Because Jesus is very different from what we watch in movies. However, in Christmas, God didn't ask us to climb up. He didn't shout on us on the bottom. Instead, he came down to us. And this is the miracle of Christmas. That's why it's very important for us to understand, why are we celebrating Christmas? It's became a tradition that we do every year, right? That sometimes maybe we forget what truly the message is, right? So, number one, we celebrate Christmas because God came down to us, even though he didn't need to. Number two, because Jesus reveals God perfectly. People wondered for centuries what a God is, right? For many centuries, people didn't know what a God is. So they started worshiping different, statues, right? For many, many years. What is a God like? Is he an angry person? Is he distant? Is he impossible to please? People didn't know what God is like. That's why they started, worshiping different statues, different person back in centuries. But the Bible is clear. In John chapter 1, verse 14, and we saw his glory, glorious, the only begotten from the Father. Jesus came to show us what a God is, right? Jesus came to show us that God is full of compassion. He's full of love. He is slow to anger. He heals, he restores, and forgives. And he loves the sinners. He loves everybody. He showed us what a God truly is. Because Jesus reveals God perfectly. If you want to know what a God looks like, who should we look at? Jesus Christ. Because he revealed to us what God is. And he himself is God. Right? Now, number three, why do we celebrate Christmas? Because Jesus brought grace upon grace. What does this mean? In verse 14, full of grace and truth. In verse 16, it says, for in his fullness we have all received grace upon grace. During the law of Moses, it showed us that when you have committed something, right, there is a penalty, right? When you have committed a crime, when you have committed a sin, there is a penalty for our sins. But Jesus brought what the law couldn't give. What did Jesus bring to us? He brought us grace. Grace is something a law cannot give. Only Jesus can give that to us. Jesus, in his fullness of grace, he has given us grace upon grace. And what does this mean? What does grace upon grace means? How do you define grace upon grace? Forgiveness upon forgiveness, grace after grace, mercy after mercy, second chances after second chances, strength after weakness, and love we could never earn. Grace is love we could never earn. And that's why today we could jump, we could praise, we could sing, right? Last week we were all dancing. We were all shouting, right? We were all singing, and that's because of His grace alone. I want us all to remember that. It's all because of His grace alone. Christmas is God giving us a gift we don't deserve. And that's Himself. We celebrate Christmas because Jesus brought us grace upon grace. And we don't deserve that. We don't deserve that. I want you to remember that we cannot save ourselves. When does Christmas hits the hardest? When does Christmas hits the hardest in our hearts? It's when we realize that we cannot save ourselves. You would not appreciate Christmas if you think you could save yourself from all your doings, all the things that you do for God, all the things that you serve, with all your accomplishments. You would never appreciate Christmas if you don't realize that you cannot save yourself. Jesus came because we needed a Savior, not a coach. Jesus came because we need a Savior. And that's why we celebrate Christmas today. Number 4, why do we celebrate Christmas? Because Jesus brought us close to the Father. In verse 18, but the one and only Son, who is Himself God. The one and only Son who is Himself God and is in the closest relationship with the Father, has made Him known. Before Jesus, many people felt distant with God. We don't know what God looks like. We don't know what He feels like. We don't know Him. For many centuries, people felt distance with God. But Jesus coming down here to reveal us who is the Father. Through Jesus, God became a father that we can know, that we can love, we can approach. When you have a problem, you can just talk to Him directly, pray to Him. You don't have to go through any assistant, secretary. You could just go to Him directly. That is the Father that we have today. Jesus came down here not to give us information about Christmas, but He came here to give us a relationship. Jesus didn't come down here so that we could celebrate Christmas with all our games, with all our fun, and forget about Him. He came here so that we would know what is the true reason that we should celebrate Christmas. And if that's to have a relationship with us. So why do we celebrate Christmas? Because God came down to us. We celebrate Christmas because Jesus reveals God perfectly. We celebrate Christmas because Jesus brought grace upon grace, a grace that we don't deserve. And we celebrate Christmas because Jesus brought us close to the Father, a Father that we never knew about. Jesus revealed it to us. Now that we know why we celebrate Christmas, what should we do? Right? It's not enough to know why we celebrate Christmas. Jesus didn't come down here for information. He came here for a relationship. So action steps. I have a few suggestions for us to act on it once we truly understand why we celebrate Christmas. Number one, receive His grace. Receive His grace. Stop trying to earn. Stop trying to earn God's favor through your skills, through your talents, through serving. We can never earn God's favor through our own effort. We can never earn it. We can never save ourselves, and without God, we are all nothing. No matter what your accomplishments are, no matter what you have done, what you have accomplished, what you have achieved, without God, we are all nothing. I want us all to remember that. So I want to ask you, receive His grace with your arms wide open. What does this mean? Surrender yourself to God. Have you truly surrendered yourself to God this Christmas? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about during this Christmas season? Are you thinking about the food, the games, right? The parties, the gatherings? How many Christmas parties are you attending this year? What are you thinking about this season? Have you received His grace this Christmas season? Number two, worship Him as God. What does this mean? This Christmas season, do you find yourself reading the Bible more or reading the Bible less? Because you have more activities. You have more Christmas parties to attend. You have more food to cook. You have more games to think about. Are we truly worshiping the message, the word? Or are we worshiping the activities, the games, the food? What do you think? What are you thinking about this Christmas season? Are we all worshiping Him as God? Or are we all busy with our activities? I want us all to treat Jesus not as a seasonal mascot. You know, that when you see during Christmas, oh, Jesus Christ, thank you for Christmas. But we only remember Him during Christmas. God doesn't want us to remember Him as a seasonal mascot. We don't celebrate Him on Christmas Day alone. Because if you truly have Jesus in your heart, you're going to celebrate Him what? Every day of your life. Every day of your life. Do you prioritize God above all things? Do you prioritize God over your work, over your business, over your hobbies, over your favorite sports, right? Over your investment, over your stocks, over your crypto? Do you worship Him above anything else, above everything else? Who is in the top priority in your heart today? Seek and worship Him as God, and you will find Him. Maybe some of us today, we haven't truly received God or experienced Him. And the reason behind that is because you don't worship Him as God. You haven't worshiped Him. You haven't seek Him with all your heart and with all your mind. And that's why you never knew about Him. Maybe some of us, we attend church every Sunday, but we don't truly understand. We haven't truly experienced Him. And I want to encourage you today, it's never too late. I want us all to remember, why do we really celebrate Christmas? Do we celebrate the message, or do we celebrate the activities around the message? What is the thing that truly matters to you today? Number 3, make Him known. Every year we celebrate Christmas. We share our food. We share our gifts. You know, we meet our inaanaks, our godchildren. We gather for parties. You know, we attend multiple Christmas parties. But when was the last time that you actually shared the message instead of the activities around the message? When was the last time you actually made Him known to your friends, to the people you invited at your home during Christmas? When was the last time? Maybe you invited a friend, you know, someone who is new here in Canada. Have you shared the gospel to them? Have you shared to them the message of Christmas? Do your children know why we celebrate Christmas every year? Do they know Jesus? Or do your children know Santa Claus? Who does your children know today? David Jeremiah said, all the Christmas presents in the world are worth nothing without the presence of Christ. You can have 135,000 LED lights outside your house. You can have the biggest and nicest parol outside your house. You can have the biggest Christmas tree, 12 feet, 15 feet Christmas tree. You can have the most expensive gifts to your children. But without the presence of Christ, it all works to nothing. It all works to nothing without the presence of Christ. So I want us all to reflect. Today we are on our season of Christmas. The Christmas is not about the presents, Christmas trees, the activities, the parties that we're going to attend. It's about the message. And who is the Word? Jesus Christ. I want us all to remember that. And before we finish in our message today, I have a question for you. This Christmas, who would people see in you today? This Christmas, when people meet you, when people see you, who will they see in your life today? Will they see the 100,000 LED lights in you? Are they going to see all the Christmas lights outside your home? Or are they going to see the light of the world shining through your life today? Are they going to see the lights outside your home? Or are they going to see the light of God in your life today? Who are people going to see in your life today? Will they see all the decorations, all the gifts, all the trees when they see you? Or are they going to see a heart transform through you today? Are they going to see all the gifts that you've bought your children, all the gifts that you bought your godchildren? Or are they going to see a heart transform in your life? What are people going to see in your life today, this Christmas? This Christmas season, are they going to see another holiday? You know, people greet each other, happy holiday, Merry Christmas. Are they going to see another holiday in your life today? Or are they going to see the message of Christ this Christmas in your life today? Who are people going to see in your life today, this Christmas? I want us all to reflect on that. This season, I want to encourage you. This year, I want to encourage you to make it count. If last year, you were so busy with all the activities that you weren't able to make it count. Today is another year to make it count. I want us all to make it count this year. What truly the message is this Christmas. Receive His grace, worship Him as God, and last but not the least, make Him known. Because you can have all the gifts, all the parties, but without the presence of Christ, it all amounts to nothing. Our message is short, but I hope you all learned from our message today. Have you understand the message of Christmas? Next week, we're going to learn more about different questions about Christmas. And this Christmas, I want us all to reflect and understand why we truly celebrate Christmas.